May I please take umbrage to one label that Dr. Swapan Das Gupta used for the people of this particular characteristic, which is he called them liberals. They are anything but liberals. I know he used it as a label to identify them, but they are as much of liberal dispensation as Hafiz Saeed is non-violent. I mean, they are the ones who are draconian by nature. They trample on free speech, Nehru down. If you were to read and understand history, you would know that there are more liberals who are, called right-wingers and Hindutwas than the real left wing and those guys who are now, who've appropriated this self-proclaimed, if I may call them, liberals. But, Rahul, there are three issues here. And if we are to be honest, we have to talk about all three without worrying about the cost, which is being branded an Islamophobe. Now, it helps that people have already branded me a Hindutva, Sanghi, fascist, Islamophobic bigot. So I can talk about them. I don't know about you. But number one, this statement, terrorism has no religion. It's plain wrong. In 2019, the reputed German newspaper Welt came up with an astonishing statistics in its report, 18 years of terror. Islamist extremists have perpetrated 31,221 terror attacks based on religion and killed 146,811 people worldwide since 9/11. That's an average of 5 terror attacks every single day for 18 years. This is a never-ending process and we have to be realistic about it. Ambedkar understood this really well, as he reiterated that as far as Islam is concerned, the world is divided into two regions, Dar al-Harb and Dar al-Islam. We don't need to be squeamish about it or embarrassed or politically incorrect or correct. And Muslims cannot rest until Dar al-Harb is converted into Dar al-Islam. A country which is ruled by a kafir, said Ambedkar, is Dar al-Harb to a Musalman. The basic feelings of deference and sympathy which predispose persons to obey the authority of government do not simply exist. I mean, this is not me saying this. So Muslim apologists should direct their rage, if at all, at Ambedkar, not me. Ethnic cleansing and genocide of Hindus of Kashmir has almost made it Dar al-Islam. Any revulsion now to Dar al-Harb will be severely resisted. We must understand this. Number two, tolerant people will always be subjugated through religious diktat. Not for nothing do millions pour on to the streets demanding Sar Tan Se Juda. They are not mad. They are not fanatics. They are following religious fundamentals. This is an argument, Rahul, we cannot win because we are men, not God. And God or Allah has specifically ordered that, quote, those who abuse Allah and His Messenger, Allah has cursed them in this world and the hereafter and prepared for them a humiliating punishment, 3357. And that the penalty for those who wage war against Allah, which is what Khomeini accused Rushdie of, and his messenger, is that they be killed or crucified, 533. For 1.8 billion Muslims, Allah's word is inviolable and He Himself has said so, 3362, 6115, 1827, 634. We need to understand anyone who is perceived to have abused Allah or His messenger will sooner or later meet the fate of Kamlesh Tiwari or Samuel Pati. It may take a week, a month, a year, a decade, or even 3 decades, as in Rushdie's case. But it will happen. Finally, briefly, Rahul, 3. And this is important. It is the so-called moderate Muslims perennially playing the victim card who are Islamophobic. That is, they fear Islam. I don't fear Islam, but they do. They fear Islam. They fear to bring out the commandments of the Holy Book in their entirety on Jews, Christians, polytheists, homosexuality, apostasy, heresy, dress code, wife beating, blasphemy, because they fear being called illiberal and hypocrites. So they end up condemning and branding as radicals the Muslims who are faithfully following the fundamentals. They snare the fundamentalists but spare the fundamentals. The irony is that the apologists who themselves are Islamophobic want non-believers and kafirs against whom so much violence has been ordered to feel good about it and not be fearful. Finally, Rahul, just 20 seconds to end. If you want the truth, here it is. You cannot do anything about it. It is a giant rolling machine that will crush you sooner or later. We need to accept this like Rabindranath Tagore did. We are simply biding time.
Okay. Let